Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I have a very special video for you, and it's all the completed pages that my mom and myself have colored together. We have been coloring together since almost 10 years. Actually, next year will be our 10-year coloring anniversary. And we thought it would be a nice idea to show you all the completed pictures side by side that we have completed in all those years. We realized when we went through our books that we have so many pictures that we will have to make 2 videos because we will not fit them all in one video. So today's video will be about all of our Johanna Basford books, and then we will have another video with all the other artists' books. All right, let's get started. So on the left side, you see my mom's book, and on the right side, you see mine. And we start with Johanna Basford's Secret Garden. I have the Norwegian edition, and my mom has the English edition. And you will see that the paper looks a bit different. And these were our very first coloring books, so you will see some very old work. So it's probably also nice to see how we have developed over time, both of us, from the very early pages that we did to the most recent ones. All right. So we start with a double page spread, which is a bit difficult to fit on camera, but I will try my best. So the top one is my version, and the lower one is my mom's version. And this is a special page because it's the very first page that she has ever colored. So with a very basic set of pencils, just starting filling in the color, that was exactly where it started for her. I think that's a great memory. All right. And the next page is actually a newer one, although it's also almost 5 years old in the meantime. This is a page that we colored for our 5-year coloring anniversary, and we decided to color together something in our very first book. And we picked this floral ornament page, and we also picked a color palette. So actually both of these pictures are colored with the same, I think maybe 6 polychromos pencils. And yeah, could you tell? I think they look a lot different. All right. And next we have a family color along. So I will show you it's not only my mom and mine page, but it's also the page of my son, which he colored when he was still very little. So I think my mom's page and mine kind of look like a day and night version of the same picture. We have that quite regularly, I think. Really cool. And here, this is the page that my son colored when he was only 4 years old. So you can imagine, this is really a long time ago. Okay, let's see. Next we have this page, and we colored it exactly the same with the same pencils, same colors, but you can see that they look different just because of the different paper color. Mine is completely white. This is more like an eggshell off-white tone, so the impression is a little bit different. Okay. And these are also 2 very early works. um, for both of us. Yeah, let's not spend too much time on those. They are good as a memory, let's say. And this one is actually quite nice. I like them both. So also still relatively early work, but I think it's already coming along nicely. So those I also like, both of them. I think the color combination is pretty cool. I like that the birds of my mom look like hummingbirds with the color combination. I think they are both nice. And here's another set of early work. I think this was the second picture that I ever colored in an adult coloring book, and it was similar for my mom. So yeah, I mean, just keep that in mind when you see some of the later works. It's maybe making you optimistic if you're still at the beginning of your journey. Yeah, and here we have also the next page colored. They look quite different. And oops, we have so many post-its used on this project here. And we have another double page. And this was a very early page for my mom, the second one that she ever did. So she started a little bit of blending and shading already. And I did mine a bit later, so they were not colored directly together. So mine is a bit more advanced already. And then we have another 2 pages. We start with this busy page. I did mine with fine liners, and I think, I'm not sure what my mom used. I think also maybe fine liners, at least for some of the details, but also some pencils, I guess. And then the opposite page, we both have colored quite similarly. I think it's really nice. And I think we also colored them about the same, around the same time. So, and this one was for me, my very first coloring page that I have ever colored. And my mom colored it a bit later. And I think she used some Gamsol to blend the pencil in this one. And I think it turned out really cool. Nice and soft in the colors. Another one. So let's bring them back together. Treehouse. I'm not sure. I think we also colored it around the same time. And yeah, we both put our respective cat in the treehouse. And one last page in Secret Garden. This one, it's also quite similar, but not the same. Just the contrast between the warm and the cold colors. My mom has a bit of background with a really nice shade of color. Yeah, I think they are both pretty cute. Good. So that was Secret Garden, our very first coloring book. And from there we go directly to the next one in the order of appearance. And that is Enchanted Forest. Here we have the same edition. And let's see which one is the first one that we have. This deer. Frame. Yeah, these were also still quite early. They are quite light, but I think they are both nice from the color combination. With a bit of a limited palette. Next we have some Easter bunnies. I think they're also both nice. I think my mom doesn't like hers so much, but I think it's pretty. And this is another one that we did together, and we did kind of the opposite thing because I colored all the outlines, and then my mom decided to color everything besides the outlines, so it looks a lot different. I like my mom's ones. One, well, you know what I mean. And now we have another double page, and that's quite similar. Very simple, basic coloring. And now we have also a newer page that we did as a color along. I think also with a limited palette, if I look at it. And I think they look both really great. They are really, they look really like sorceress' houses, and the colors match really well together. Yeah, it's probably a handful of polychromos. That's what we most of the time do when we have a limited color palette. We pick one, and then it's typically around 6 pencils, and then we just use these pencils. And the next one is not a limited color palette, but I think they turned out quite similar. I think we were actually also coloring those together. We were sitting together while coloring that. Yeah, that is what we sometimes do when we spend time together, that we are actually sitting next to each other and coloring together. We're not living very close to each other, so sometimes it's also just everybody coloring for themselves and then just sharing the pictures online. And yeah, but every time when we visit each other, we look at each other's pictures that we have colored in the meantime. So next in line we have Johannas Christmas. Here I have the German edition, which again has bright white paper, so that also looks a bit different. Okay, we start with the polar bear page, and we both did some northern lights. If I put them like that, they look like they go together. Yeah, I think they are both really pretty. I think we both used soft pastels for the background. I like how my mom did her ice crystal. Looks really cool. Oops, skipping something. Mandala. I used markers for mine, but I think my mom used pencils. Um, I think with markers it's a bit quicker. But I think from the color palette, they are both really nice. I think my mom used a limited color palette that we used also for another picture in this book. I will tell you later. But I just used a different palette. Oops. There we go. And I like those two also a lot. We colored them differently. I think I colored mine first and my mom shortly after that. I colored mine with Inktense and a bit of gold Posca, so it's a bit shiny. And she did hers for a one color challenge that was there on Facebook somewhere. I did also a page for that, but a different one. And I think hers turned out really cool. The turquoise colors are perfect for this snowflake mandala. Here we go. Two pages. And I think we used similar mediums, polychromos for everything and soft pastels in the background. They turned out a little bit differently, but the carpet is quite similar. Yeah, they are both nice. And then we have one last page in Johanna's Christmas. And this is the one with the limited color palette that I mentioned earlier. This is a color palette from the Color Cube by Sarah Renee Clark. Yeah, and we colored that on Christmas actually. And I think they both turned out really pretty. I mean, it's a small motif and it's a small number of pencils, but still you get a different result, yeah, if you're coloring. So I think that's always a nice challenge. All right. Then next we have Magical Jungle. Here my mom has the German edition for a change. And let's start. What's the first page? So first we have this tiger page, and actually we did this as a family color along. So not only my mom and myself were coloring this picture, but also my cousin and her daughter were coloring the same picture. And we used again a limited palette. That's why they look a bit similar from the overall color impression, but still different. Both really nice. And the page next to it is the same. We also, the same group of people colored it, and we used another limited palette. And yeah, I think that's also really nice and colorful. And I think they all together look especially nice. Yeah, if you have completed a double page spread, it's always looking nicely. Oh. So, where's the next one? Here. So this one, I think we also colored this one together, and I think we both used our Staedtler Ergosoft pencils for this one. We had them quite newly at that point, or at least I used them. We don't remember. Nevertheless, we colored this together, and we both went for a very colorful tree, and I think they look really nice. This one is also family color along, and I think this is really interesting how different they turned out. Mine is quite gloomy, and my mom's ones is really happy, pastel-y and pretty. And my cousin also did this one, and she picked also the page, but I don't have her pages to show you. Then we have another one here. Ah, that's another double page spread. I will show them individually, because it's not necessarily a double page. We made it a double page spread. So we have the little hippo, and then we have the little fish in its pond. And I will try to make it also show it. Both pages. It's really nice. And then we have one last page. We have another day-night situation. Yeah, I think they are both really pretty. Although they are so different, I think they turned out both pretty nice. Good, so that was it for Magical Jungle. I need to put all the post-its aside a bit. It's getting full here. Good, then let's continue with Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. And we have quite a number of pictures in this one, because we had also, in many cases, my cousin and my son and her daughter all coloring together. So that's why we picked this book that we all had. Yeah, so this one and the opposite page we colored together. And I think they turned out really nice, because each one's double page spread really fits very nicely together. Double pages are always difficult to handle. So next we have, this page. And I like them really both. I think my mom's background is really creative, and it fits so well with the color of the flowers. So really cool page. Then we have another color along. And it was quite challenging, because it was actually a lot of flowers. And I like my mom's rainbow palette. And I had a limited palette, because my son decided I was only allowed to use a handful of pink and purple and turquoise tones. So, but in the end, I think it worked out really nicely. And we have the double page. I need to be careful, because those Ivy books, they tend to fall apart. So this is mine. This is my mom's page. Similar color choices. See, where is the next one? It's also an interesting one, because mine doesn't have any color. My mom's is quite colorful. Show that a bit closer. You can see that I added some details which were not in the original drawing. But I didn't add color. I thought it would work without the color. So next we have another double page. Let's go this order. This is my mom's page. And this is my page. And we have similar color palettes. And actually my son did this page too, but I didn't find his copy. Because I think he didn't do it in his own book. Wait a second. Maybe he did. I just found it. So this was my son's page, and I definitely took inspiration from his version to color my version. You can see it maybe next to each other. So I definitely was inspired by his color choices. And we colored this, all the three of us together. Really, really nice. Right. Then we have the little elves page. Oops. Oh, I'm afraid that I will destroy the book. So they're more or less next to each other. Yeah, we colored these also together. I think it was during summer, and yeah, we love to spend time together, just coloring, chatting. We really enjoy that a lot. I really like both versions. Yeah, it's another day and night version. Somehow that happens quite often. And this was another family color along. So the kids also did this, and my cousin. Now that I have my son's book here, I can show you also his version, because he has actually colored a number of those pictures. So this is my son's version, which is also pretty cool, I think. So we were coloring all those together. The majority of those family color-alongs we did during the COVID crisis, when there were all those lockdowns and it was not possible to see each other as a family. Then we decided that we would at least spend time together with our joint hobby and yeah, color pages together. And that was really a lot of fun. This one's another color along. And I like both versions a lot. So my mom's version is very crisp and clean with this Posca background, and mine is a bit more dynamic with the Neocolor background. So you can really, with the different mediums, you can really get very different results for the same page. And I think this one was the very first family color along that we did. This little heart here. Yeah, find my son's version as well. Yeah. So here's another heart. We were all coloring together. That was at the beginning of the COVID crisis. In the first lockdown, we started doing family color alongs, and that we really enjoyed that a lot. Oops. And this one also, both are really nice. I think the color combinations are really pretty for both of them. And then, oops, one last page. That was also a family color along. I will check for my son's page. I think he has it also colored. Yeah, actually he has. So, and that was the last page for Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Now, before we come to the next book, I want to share with you some individual pages that we did as well from Johanna Basford. And we have here an advent calendar. These are the pages by my mom and myself. We really enjoy those advent calendars. Most of the years we do one. Try to avoid the flare. And it's so nice to have every day one little picture that you can color, and then you share it, and it makes you happy to see also the other person's results. So advent calendars are always really nice. Yeah, my son did this as well, at least for the majority of the pictures, and I think he has some pretty cool versions that he did. And then we have 30 Days of Flowers, which was also a download by Johanna, I think around the time when she released, what was it, World of Flowers? We don't have that book, but we joined the 30 Days of Flowers challenge. I can probably fit, no, I can't fit 3 pages. No, so I need to move them back and forth. So these are my mom's flowers. And here my son and myself, we switched the sheet every day. So on every sheet there are flowers that were colored by me and flowers that were colored by my son, because we switched all the time. And we had the challenge that one should be day flowers and one should be night flowers. And this is the second page. So here are my mom's flowers and the sheets from my son and myself. That was also really fun. Like an advent calendar, but just not in December. And then we have the Flourish coloring book that Johanna released during the COVID crisis for download. And we had ours printed and spiral bound at a printing shop. And we did also some family color alongs in this one. So this page, and this is the one that my son did, and I really love his version. I think they are all really cool. I like the underwater effect from my mom. Mine is a winter page. My son did a sunset. All very different. And then we did this mushroom. And my son did that as well, but I don't know where that picture ended up, because it was not in a book, it was loose. But he used also similar color combination. I remember something with a little bit of green and a lot of orange. Yeah, so they all go nicely together. And then last but not least, one fun little page. Now, those two next to each other are really crazy to look at. They look like wrapping paper. But this was actually quite fun to color. All right, so that was Flourish. And now we come to the last book. No, it's not true. It's the second to last book, Worlds of Wonder. So let's see. Where do we start? Yeah. Here. And we did this one also as a family color along. So my mom, myself, my son, and my sister-in-law. And check if I find my son's book, because he did it as well, and I think it's one of his best works. Really great with the light effect and everything. It's one of his most recent pictures. Nowadays he doesn't color a lot anymore. I think he's not at that age anymore where you enjoy coloring with your mom. Yeah. Next. Oops. We have this pretty little cottage. I think they also turned out both really pretty. Mine is a bit more muted and my mom's is a bit more bright, but both are really nice. Now we come to a double page. And yeah, all right, let's start like that. This one we colored also together with my cousin and my sister-in-law, and we had a limited color palette for this one. And I remember I picked 5 pencils from the Polychromo set and also 5 pencils from the Arteza set, because we did not all have the same coloring pencils. So I did mine with the Arteza pencils and my mom used the Polychromos version. But it's still the same colors, more or less. It's the same palette. And then next to it, we have this tent. And I really like that one. Both of them, they look so intense with the color, so bold, and yeah, I really love them both. Now we have a little floating island. So that I added some details to mine, because I wanted to make it look like the Ark of Babel from the Mirror Visitor book series. Yeah. A tree house. Also recolored this one also together, and surprise, it's again a day and night version. But I think they look both really nice. I did mine with Inktense, especially the background. And this one is also one of my favorites. It was also a family color along, and we used a limited palette of, I don't know, six pencils. And I really love how they both turned out. So nice, the use of these colors, and it fits so well to the image. I think they are both super pretty. And I think my cousin did also a version of that one. And here we have a very recent one. If you like my version, that's actually a color along on my channel. So you can follow along if you like. My mom's version is not a color along, so if you like her version, you have to pause the video and try to be inspired by the picture. I think hers is really awesome with this super bright gradient. Yeah, I think they are both really nice. Very, very different, but both pretty. one, I think, both with our Ergosoft pencils, the little food truck. I did a little bit of background because I wanted to turn it into a night scene. Surprise! And my mom has the daylight version again. You see kind of a pattern here. Yeah, this we had the creative idea to use a very professional art supply tool, which is a plate, to draw the circle. And yeah, I think that works really nice, bringing the motif a bit together. Yeah, but beside that, they look again very different. This one also my sister-in-law did as well, but I cannot show you her picture. Oops. This is very new. Well, actually, it's from last year, but I think it's the newest one that we have in the book. And my cousin did this picture as well, and we also had a limited color palette for this one. I remember it was not only 5 pencils, maybe it was 10, I don't remember exactly, but it was definitely limited color palette. So you can see that the same colors show up in both pictures, but still they look different. And I used the plate secret weapon again. All right, so that was it for Worlds of Wonder. And now, last but not least, we have Small Victories. And we have also here a couple of pictures that we colored together. We start by those cute little trucks. And this one we did not actually, let me zoom you in a little bit, color together, but everybody for their own. So it's quite cute to see that some of the trucks turned out quite similar. And then we have the koi page. And here I actually like my mom's version better, because I think I went a bit crazy with the pink and the gold on my fish. So I think this is a bit, looks, I don't know, I like it better. But yeah, we started coloring this together when we were spending the weekend together, and then finished it on our own later on. We have a little mandala that we both did. I think they are both really pretty. Different color combinations. And we're both using our Staedtler Ergosoft pencils in this book, and no other pencils. So that's also kind of limiting the color palettes, and it's also yeah, limiting the number of pencils that you have available overall, which is kind of relaxing sometimes. This one we did both with different sized circles this time. I think they're both really pretty. And then last but not least, we did the narwhal page, and we both went for a pink whale because it looks like a unicorn, a sea unicorn, and we wanted to make it look a bit magical. I liked both of those a lot. All right, so that was it for Small Victories, and those were all of our Johanna Basford books where we have colored pictures together. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, then make sure to watch also the next one, which will be with all the other artists that we have colored together. All right, if you have any questions, comments, whatsoever, let me know in the comments down below. And until the next time, see you soon in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.